The alarm sounded 3 times before Alan Wright looked up from his coffee. The night shift at Lunar Space Command was usually quiet. 5 years of watching empty screens had made everyone lazy. Alan sighed and checked the alert on his monitor. His eyes widened. "Sir," he called to his supervisor, "you need to see this." Jack Peters walked over, annoyed at being pulled away from his own break. "What is it?" "Right. It's the U.S. horizon," Alan said, his voice barely above a whisper. "It's back." Jack froze, then leaned closer to the screen. The signature was unmistakable. The ID beacon of humanity's first deep space mission to Alpha Centauri, lost without a trace 5 years ago. But something was wrong. The ship's energy pattern looked different. Stronger, stranger. "That's impossible," Jack said. "Confirm the reading." Alan's fingers flew across the keyboard. Signature confirmed. "It's the horizon." "But sir, look at the speed. It's moving at least 10 times faster than it should be able to." Jack grabbed the emergency phone. Within minutes, the quiet control room became a storm of activity. Scientists, military personnel, and government officials poured in, all staring at the screens showing the U.S. horizon's impossible return. "It doesn't make sense," said Dr. Olivia Barnes, the head of the recovery team hastily assembled as the ship approached Earth orbit. "We lost contact with Horizon just after it passed Mars on its outbound journey. Now it returns from deep space with technology that our sensors can't even identify." The room fell silent as Admiral Paul Johnson entered. His face was grim. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a situation. That ship left Earth with 87 of our best people. We need to know what happened to them, and what happened to that ship." Olivia stepped forward. "Sir, request permission to leave the intercept team." The Admiral nodded. "Granted. You leave in 2 hours." In the locker room, Olivia prepared with her team. Ben Harris, a former Marine, checked his weapon for the 3rd time. "What do you think we'll find in there, Commander?" "I don't know," she admitted. "But the energy readings from that ship, it's like nothing we've ever seen. The hull appears to be the same, but whatever's powering it now isn't human technology." Lisa Kelly, the team's engineer, looked nervous. "The scans show the internal layout has changed too. It's like the ship rebuilt itself. Or something rebuilt it," Ben added quietly. The intercept shuttle launched from Lunar Base, carrying Olivia's team of 6 toward the horizon, which now sat motionless in Earth orbit. From a distance, it looked like the same ship that left 5 years ago, the sleek design of humanity's first true starship. But as they got closer, strange patterns became visible on the hull, like veins running through metal. "U.S. Horizon, this is Commander Olivia Barnes of Earth Space Command. Do you copy?" Olivia's message went unanswered. She tried again and again. Nothing but silence. "No signs of life," reported Chris Morgan, operating the scanner. "But there's something else. Energy patterns moving through the ship like blood through a body." Olivia made her decision. "We're going in. Full containment protocols." The shuttle docked with the Horizon's main airlock. The team suited up in full hazard gear, weapons ready. Dr. Nathan Cole, the science officer, monitored his equipment carefully. "Air is breathable," he reported, sounding surprised. "Temperature normal. But there's some kind of particulate matter in suspension. Nanoscale." "Keep your helmets on," Olivia ordered. The airlock cycled open, revealing the darkened interior of the Horizon. Ben stepped in first, light mounted on his rifle sweeping the corridor. "Clear," he said, his voice tight. One by one, they entered the ship. What they saw inside made them stop in their tracks. The familiar corridors of the Horizon were now lined with strange, pulsing structures that seemed both mechanical and organic. The walls themselves appeared to breathe. "What happened to this ship?" Lisa whispered. Olivia steeled herself and moved forward. "Spread out. Find the crew." But as they moved deeper into the transformed vessel, one thing became increasingly clear. The U.S. horizon had returned from the stars, but it had returned empty. No signs of violence greeted the team as they moved deeper into the U.S. horizon. No blood, no bodies, no indication of a struggle. Just emptiness and silence, broken only by the soft pulsing sounds from the strange technology that now lined the walls. "It's like they just vanished," whispered Lisa, her flashlight revealing more of the organic-looking tech that had fused with the ship's original systems. Ben kept his weapon ready. Or something took them. Olivia checked her tablet. According to the original blueprints, the bridge should be 2 levels up. Let's start there. The team moved cautiously through corridors that twisted in ways they shouldn't have. The ship's interior had been remodeled by whatever force had claimed it. Doorways curved where they once were straight. Walls bulged with pulsing nodes that emitted soft blue light. "Look at this," Nathan said, stopping to examine a section of wall. He pulled a small tool from his belt and scraped at the surface. The material seemed to shiver. Then, before their eyes, it repaired itself, the scratch healing over in seconds. "Self-healing materials," Nathan murmured. "That's decades beyond our current tech." Olivia touched her earpiece. "Command, are you getting this?" "Affirmative," came Admiral Johnson's voice. "Every second of it. Keep moving, Commander." The stairwell to the upper decks was gone, replaced by a spiraling ramp of the same organic mechanical material. As they ascended, Chris noticed something. "The temperature's rising," he said. "And these energy readings, it's like the ship knows we're here." The bridge was barely recognizable. The captain's chair remained in the center, but it now sat upon a raised platform of the alien material. The navigation controls had been replaced by what looked like pools of liquid metal. View screens were now transparent sections of hull, offering a direct view of Earth below. "Check for the crew logs," Olivia ordered. "Find out what happened." Nathan approached what appeared to be the main computer terminal. Instead of keyboards, there were now indentations shaped for human hands. "Should I?" he asked, looking at Olivia. She hesitated, then nodded. "Do it." Nathan placed his hands in the indentations. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the liquid metal surface rippled, and text began to appear in the air above the console. A holographic display showing file directories. "It's the ship's log," Nathan said, his voice filled with wonder. "But the encryption, I've never seen anything like it. It's going to take our best people to crack this." Lisa had moved to examine the engineering station. "Commander, you need to see this." On a small screen, a single video file was playing on loop. It showed Captain Frank Miller, his face tired but calm, recording what must have been his final log entry. "The mission has changed," he said simply. "What we found, it found us too. We are being invited. There's no other word for it. Don't try to find us. We'll come back when we're ready." The video ended there. Ben shook his head. "Invited? Invited where? By what?" A sudden vibration ran through the ship. Lights flickered on throughout the bridge, systems coming to life around them. "We need to leave," Olivia said sharply. "Now." As they hurried back toward the airlock, Chris noticed something disturbing. "The passages have changed," he said. "This isn't the way we came in." The organic walls seemed to pulse faster around them, the blue light growing stronger. The ship was fully awake now. There, Ben pointed to a familiar corridor. The airlock should be just ahead. They'd reached the shuttle with relief, cycling through the airlock and sealing it behind them. As they disengaged from the horizon, Olivia looked back at the transformed vessel through the viewport. "Commander," the Admiral's voice came through the radio. "Return to base immediately. Bring whatever data you've collected." As the shuttle pulled away, the U.S. horizon remained silent in orbit, its secrets still locked inside. But one thing was clear. The ship that left Earth 5 years ago wasn't the same one that had returned. And whatever had changed it was beyond human understanding. Back at Lunar Command, scientists prepared to study a technology that shouldn't exist. The lunar station lab buzzed with activity. For 3 weeks, the best minds on Earth and the Moon had studied the U.S. horizon from a safe distance. Now, with appropriate safety measures in place, they finally began direct analysis of samples taken from the ship. Chief Engineer Samantha Wells stared at her simulation results for the 5th time. She ran her hand through her short blonde hair in frustration. "This can't be right," she muttered. Dr. Nathan Cole looked up from his own workstation. "What did you find?" "According to these readings, the propulsion system on the horizon doesn't just break the laws of physics, it ignores them completely." Samantha pointed to her screen. "See this? The system creates quantum entanglement between particles at the front and back of the ship. When they're linked, the ship doesn't technically move through space. Space moves around it." "That's impossible," Nathan said, but his voice lacked conviction. After what they'd seen, impossible had lost much of its meaning. "There's more," Samantha continued. "The whole material contains billions of microscopic machines. They're smaller than anything we can build. They can rearrange matter at the atomic level, which is how the ship repairs itself." In another section of the lab, Dr. Kyle Mason examined a piece of the ship's computer system under a powerful microscope. What he found shocked him. "The alien tech didn't replace our technology," he told the others during their evening briefing. "It evolved it. Look here." He displayed an image on the main screen. "This is a standard Earth computer chip from the original horizon. But these structures growing from it, they're new. They've bonded with our tech at the molecular level, enhancing it rather than replacing it." Admiral Johnson frowned. "Are you saying this alien technology merged with ours?" "Exactly," Kyle nodded. "It's like a technological symbiosis. Our systems provided the foundation, and this alien tech built upon it." Meanwhile, Nathan made a breakthrough with the ship's data. "I've managed to access some of the computer files," he announced. "Most of it is still encrypted, but I found something interesting." He brought up a star chart on the main display. The horizon traveled much further than Alpha Centauri. According to these navigation logs, it went nearly 50 light-years from Earth. "That's not possible," Admiral Johnson said. "Even with the most optimistic calculations, it would take centuries to travel that far." "Not with the new propulsion system," Samantha pointed out. "Based on my analysis, the horizon could have made that journey in months, not years." The implications hung heavy in the air. If the technology was real, it would change everything humanity thought they knew about space travel. Later that night, Nathan worked alone in the data lab. The rest of the team had gone to sleep. But he couldn't rest. Something about the data patterns bothered him. They seemed familiar somehow, like a language he had almost forgotten. On a hunch, he ran the alien data through a mathematical analysis program of his own design. The results made him sit up straight. "It's not just technology," he whispered to himself. "It's information." The data wasn't random. It followed patterns similar to DNA, a complex, multi-layered system of information storage. But instead of biological instructions, this contained something else. Knowledge. Vast amounts of it. Nathan quickly called Olivia, despite the late hour. "You need to see this," he said when she arrived, her eyes still heavy with sleep. "The ship's computer contains terabytes of data in an alien mathematical language. It's like an encyclopedia, or a library. And I think I can translate it." "What does it say?" Olivia asked. Nathan pointed to the first section he had partially decoded. "It talks about a network. Something ancient, spread across the galaxy. And it mentions others. Other species that found it before us." Olivia stared at the screens. "Are you saying we're not alone out there?" "Not only that," Nathan said quietly. "I'm saying someone has been waiting for us to find them." Outside the lab window, the transformed U.S. horizon hung in lunar orbit, its secrets only beginning to unfold. News of the U.S. horizon's return spread across the world despite official efforts to keep it quiet. Grainy images taken by amateur astronomers showed the ship in lunar orbit, its hull now covered in strange patterns that glowed faintly in the darkness of space. World leaders gathered at the United Earth headquarters in Geneva. The meeting room was tense as Admiral Johnson presented what they knew so far. The technology aboard the Horizon is beyond anything we can currently understand, he said. But our scientists are learning quickly. General Howard Pierce stood up. He was tall and stern, with a reputation for being direct. We need to weaponize this technology immediately. If there are aliens out there with this kind of power, we need to be ready. Several heads nodded in agreement, but Dr. Diana Ford from the Science Council raised her hand. We don't know if this is a weapon at all, she argued. Everything we've seen suggests it's an advancement, not a threat. The ship wasn't destroyed, it was improved. The crew wasn't attacked. They left willingly, according to the captain's message. The debate went on for hours. Military leaders wanted defenses. Scientists wanted research. Politicians worried about public panic. In a smaller room nearby, Commander Olivia Barnes met privately with Patricia Reynolds, the director of United Earth. Patricia was in her 60s with a calm manner that hid a sharp mind. "Tell me what you really think," Patricia said, off the record. Olivia took a deep breath. "I think this is first contact, but not in the way we expected. This technology, it's not conquest. It's more like a gift." Patricia raised an eyebrow. "A gift?" "The alien tech merged with our own. It didn't replace it. It's like teaching us rather than controlling us." Olivia leaned forward. "Dr. Cole believes the data we recovered contains knowledge from many species, collected over millions of years. If he's right, this could be the greatest library of information humanity has ever discovered." Patricia looked troubled. "And what about the crew? 87 people don't just disappear. Captain Miller's message said they were invited. I believe they went willingly." After a moment of silence, Patricia nodded slowly. "I'll take your thoughts to the council. In the meantime, we need to prepare humanity for what might be coming." The next day, the council announced their decision. They would activate First Contact Protocol, a plan created decades ago but never used. The world would be told the truth, but carefully. Military forces would be placed on alert, but no aggressive actions would be taken. Research into the new technology would continue, with an emphasis on understanding rather than weaponizing. That evening, Olivia found Nathan in the lab, his eyes red from lack of sleep. "You should rest," she told him. He smiled tiredly. "No time. Look at this." He showed her a section of decoded data. This mentioned something called the Architects. From what I can tell, they were an ancient species that achieved technological transcendence millions of years ago. "Transcendence?" Olivia asked. "They moved beyond physical form," Nathan explained. "But before they did, they left these technological beacons across the galaxy, gifts for species that achieve interstellar travel." "Like breadcrumbs," Olivia murmured. "Leading where?" "I don't know yet," Nathan admitted. "But the Horizon found one of these beacons, and something about our crew, something about humans, was deemed worthy of receiving this knowledge." Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent call from the observation deck. "Commander Barnes," a nervous voice said, "something's happening with the Horizon." When they arrived at the observation window, they saw the ship glowing brightly in lunar orbit. Patterns of light raced across its hull like circuits carrying energy. "It started 10 minutes ago," the duty officer explained. "All systems on the ship are activating." Nathan checked his tablet, which was connected to the sensors. "It's forming some kind of quantum communication array," he said, his voice filled with wonder. "The ship is calling out." Olivia felt a chill run down her spine. "Calling to what?" "Or to whom?" Nathan whispered. As they watched, the glow intensified. The U.S. Horizon was awake, and it was reaching across the stars. For 3 months, the world watched and waited. The U.S. Horizon remained in lunar orbit, its systems active but quiet after the initial burst of energy. On Earth, research teams worked day and night to understand the alien data and technology. In his small office at Lunar Station, Nathan Cole stared at his computer screen, rubbing his tired eyes. Coffee cups littered his desk. He hadn't slept properly in days, but it didn't matter. He was close to a breakthrough. "I've got it," he whispered to himself, then louder, "I've got it." He rushed down the hallway to the main lab where Olivia and Samantha were reviewing energy readings from the ship. "I cracked the translation algorithm," he announced, his face flushed with excitement. "I can read large parts of the alien data now." Within an hour, the team gathered around the main display as Nathan showed his findings. The architects were not one species, but many, he explained. They were the first intelligent beings in our galaxy, evolving billions of years ago. As they developed, they met other young species and formed a collective. Images appeared on the screen, strange beings and worlds unlike anything on Earth. Eventually, they reached a level of technology that allowed them to transcend physical form. They became pure energy and consciousness, existing beyond the limits of bodies and time. "Like gods," someone whispered. "Not gods," Nathan shook his head. "Just incredibly advanced." Before they transcended, they created a network of automated beacons and left them throughout the galaxy. These beacons were programmed to identify promising species and offer them knowledge. Olivia leaned forward. "And the Horizon found one of these beacons?" "Yes," Nathan nodded. "According to the data, the beacon tested our crew and found them worthy. It offered them a choice: return to Earth with the gift of knowledge, or join the network themselves." "Join how?" Samantha asked. Nathan looked uncomfortable. "The data suggests a form of transformation." The crew members weren't destroyed. They were changed into something beyond human, integrated into the network while maintaining their individual consciousness. Silence filled the room as everyone considered the implications. "So they're still alive?" Admiral Johnson asked finally. "Just not human anymore." "In a way, yes," Nathan said. "The captain's message makes sense now. They were invited to join this galactic community." Their discussion was interrupted by alarms blaring throughout the station. Red lights flashed in the corridors. "What's happening?" Olivia asked as they rushed to the control room. The duty officer pointed to the main screen. "The Horizon just powered up again. Energy levels are off the charts." On the screen, they could see the ship glowing brighter than before. Waves of light pulsed along its hull as the quantum communication array activated once more. "It's receiving something," Nathan said, checking the readings. A response to its earlier signal. They watched in awe as streams of data began pouring into the ship's systems. The transfer was happening faster than any communication method known to humans. "Can we intercept it?" Admiral Johnson asked. Nathan shook his head. "No, but wait. Some of it is being redirected." He pointed to another screen. "The ship is sending data to our own systems, translating it into a format we can understand." Olivia moved to a terminal. "It's coming through now." Text began appearing on the screen. English words formed from alien thoughts. "Greetings, humans of Earth. We are the collective, those you call the architects. Your kind has been observed since your first radio transmissions reached our network. The crew of your vessel Horizon has joined us willingly as ambassadors for humanity. They are well and wish to communicate. You stand at a threshold. Will you join the greater community of minds?" Before anyone could react, the message continued. "The knowledge we offer comes with responsibility and choice. Your path is your own to decide. We await your response." The text stopped. The room was completely silent. "They're making contact," Olivia whispered. "Real contact." On the screens around them, similar messages appeared on communication systems worldwide. The architects weren't just contacting the station. They were reaching out to all of humanity at once. The first alien contact in human history had begun. The message from the architects spread across Earth in minutes. It appeared on computers, phones, televisions, and any connected device. There was no panic, only a strange quiet as humanity absorbed the reality of first contact. At Lunar Station, The team watched as more data poured from the U.S. horizon into Earth's systems. Unlike the first message, this wasn't just text. It was a vast stream of information, images, sounds, and concepts that seemed to form directly in the mind. "It's beautiful," Samantha whispered as the data visualization filled the main screen. Patterns of light swirled and shifted, representing knowledge from 1,000 worlds. Nathan worked frantically at his terminal. "This is incredible. Medical cures, clean energy systems, mathematical concepts we've never even imagined. They're giving us everything." "Not everything," Olivia said, pointing to a section of the display. "These are just basics, introductory knowledge, like a welcome package." Admiral Johnson frowned. "How can you tell?" "Look at the structure," she explained. "It's organized like lessons, starting with simple concepts and building up. And there are references to much more advanced knowledge that isn't included." A new message appeared on the main screen. "Your questions are many. We will answer through those who know you best." The screen changed to show a face everyone recognized. Captain Frank Miller of the U.S. Horizon. But he looked different. His skin had a slight shimmer, and his eyes held a depth that seemed impossible. "Hello, Earth," he said, his voice both familiar and somehow enhanced. "Yes, it's really me, though I am changed." The room fell silent as Frank explained what had happened to the Horizon and its crew. "When we reached Alpha Centauri, we found the beacon. It scanned our ship, our minds, our history through our computers. Then it offered us a choice, to become part of something greater than ourselves." Frank's image smiled. "We didn't lose our humanity. We expanded it. We still have our memories, our personalities, our feelings. But we now exist both physically and as energy patterns in the network. We can travel instantly between beacons across the galaxy. We've seen wonders you can't imagine." Other faces appeared, the rest of the Horizon's crew. They looked happy, peaceful, excited to share what they had learned. "The architects aren't conquerors," Frank continued. "They've been waiting for us, watching us grow. They believe every species should develop in its own way, make its own choices. That's why they didn't contact us directly until now." "What do they want from us?" General Pierce asked suspiciously. A woman appeared next to Frank. Lieutenant Sarah Weber, the Horizon's science officer. "They don't want anything from us. They want to share with us. The universe is vast, but intelligent life is precious. They believe in connection, in sharing knowledge across species and worlds." "Why not just give us everything at once?" Nathan asked. Frank smiled again. "Would you give a child the keys to a nuclear reactor? Some knowledge requires preparation. Some technology requires responsibility. You'll receive more as you're ready for it." The faces of the crew faded, replaced by streams of data again. This time, the information was more specific. Solutions to Earth's most pressing problems. Clean energy systems that could replace fossil fuels. Medical treatments for diseases that had plagued humanity for centuries. Agricultural methods to end world hunger. "This is just the beginning," Frank's voice said as the data continued to flow. "We are your ambassadors now, the bridge between humanity and the galaxy. Earth stands at the edge of a new era." As the transmission ended, the people in the control room looked at each other in silence. The implications were overwhelming. "It's not an invasion," Olivia said finally. "It's an invitation." Outside the window, the U.S. Horizon glowed softly in the darkness, a beacon of its own now, calling humanity to the stars. Earth faced a decision unlike any in human history. The knowledge offered by the architects spread quickly. Within weeks, scientists had developed new energy systems that produced no pollution. Doctors began testing treatments that could cure diseases once thought hopeless. Farmers planted crops that could grow in any soil with little water. But with these gifts came difficult questions. The architects offered humanity a place in their galactic community. This would mean access to all their knowledge, but also accepting changes to what it meant to be human. News channels around the world debated the offer day and night. People gathered in streets and parks to discuss the future of humanity. "We should embrace this opportunity," said Dr. Diana Ford in a worldwide broadcast. "This is the next step in human evolution. We've always adapted and changed throughout our history." But not everyone agreed. Many feared losing what made humans special. "If we accept their offer to become like them, will we still be human?" asked religious leader John Kelly. "Or will we lose our souls, our identity, what makes us who we are?" Some people welcomed the idea of becoming more than human. Others worried about becoming less. At Lunar Station, Olivia sat alone in her quarters, looking at an old photo. It showed her and her younger brother Ryan standing in front of their childhood home. Ryan had been a communications officer on the U.S. Horizon when it disappeared. A knock on her door interrupted her thoughts. Nathan entered, looking excited. "You need to see this," he said. "The architects sent more information about the transformation process. It's not what we thought." In the main lab, he showed her the new data. "The process is gradual and voluntary," he explained. "It can take generations. No one has to change who doesn't want to. Children born after the process begins would have more options as they grow." Samantha joined them, looking over the data. "So humanity wouldn't end. We'd just expand our possibilities." "Exactly," Nathan nodded. "We'd remain human, but with the option to become more when ready." General Pierce entered the lab with a stern expression. "The military council isn't convinced. This could be a trick to weaken us before an invasion. If they wanted to destroy us, they could have done it already," Olivia pointed out. "The technology on the horizon alone is centuries beyond our defenses." The debate continued across Earth for weeks. Some nations wanted to accept the offer immediately. Others refused completely. Most fell somewhere in between, cautious but curious. In Geneva, world leaders gathered for a final summit. After days of discussion, they reached a compromise. Earth would accept the knowledge offered but implement it slowly. They would maintain human autonomy while learning more about the galactic community. Those who wished to undergo the transformation process could do so, but no one would be forced. Patricia Reynolds delivered the decision to the waiting world. "We choose to move forward cautiously, preserving our humanity while embracing new possibilities. We will join the galactic community as partners, not as servants." That evening, Olivia received a private message on her computer. When she opened it, she saw Ryan's face on the screen. Like the other crew members, he looked subtly changed, but his smile was the same. "Hello, sis," he said warmly. "I was hoping to talk to you directly." Tears filled Olivia's eyes. "Ryan, are you really okay?" "Better than okay," he assured her. "I'm still me, just more. I've seen worlds you wouldn't believe, and I can show them to you." "What do you mean?" she asked, wiping away tears. "The Horizon is being converted into an embassy ship," Ryan explained. "It will carry volunteers from Earth who want to learn more about the network. We need people who understand both worlds. People like you, Olivia." She stared at her brother's face, a mixture of emotions washing over her. Fear, excitement, longing to reconnect with her only family. "Would I have to change?" she asked quietly. Ryan shook his head. "Not if you don't want to. But you would see things that would change you anyway. That's what exploration has always done." The offer hung in the air between them, a bridge to a future neither of them could have imagined. 2 months after Earth's decision, the U.S. Horizon was ready for its new mission. The ship had been further modified, with living quarters for both human crew and the transformed ambassadors who existed in both physical and energy states. Volunteers from around the world had come forward to join the mission. Scientists, doctors, engineers, and explorers willing to be the first humans to truly step into the galactic community. They trained at Lunar Station, learning what they could about the ship and its systems. Olivia stood in her quarters, packing the few personal items she would take. Her decision to join the mission had not been easy. She would leave behind everything familiar, heading into an unknown that might change her forever. Nathan knocked on her open door. "Almost ready." She nodded. "Just about." Did you finish the data transfer? Yes, he said. Earth's complete scientific and cultural database is aboard. The architects want to learn about us as much as we want to learn about them. This had been part of the agreement, an exchange of knowledge rather than just receiving it. Earth would share its art, music, literature, and science with the galactic community. Nervous? Nathan asked. Olivia smiled slightly. Wouldn't you be? I'd be terrified, he admitted. That's why I'm staying here to coordinate from Lunar Station. The launch day arrived with ceremony and speeches. World leaders gathered at Lunar Station to see off the volunteers. The mission was given a name, New Horizon, symbolizing humanity's next step into the stars. Admiral Johnson addressed the crew before boarding. You are explorers in the oldest human tradition, venturing into the unknown. But you are also ambassadors, representing all of Earth in this new relationship. Remember who you are and where you came from. Patricia Reynolds spoke next. The knowledge shared with us has already begun to heal our world. Clean energy, medical advances, better food production. These gifts have improved millions of lives. Now we begin the journey to understand those who shared these gifts with us. As Olivia prepared to board, Samantha caught up with her. She had also volunteered for the mission. Did you decide? Samantha asked quietly. Olivia knew what she meant, whether to undergo the transformation process once they were connected to the network. Some volunteers had already decided. Others, like Olivia, were still uncertain. I want to see what Ryan has experienced first, she said. Then I'll decide. Samantha nodded. That's fair. For what it's worth, I'm going to do it. The chance to understand the universe in a new way. I can't pass that up. The boarding process was quick and efficient. 50 humans took their places in the redesigned ship. Already present were the 20 former crew members, now transformed, who would guide them. Ryan met Olivia on the bridge. His form seemed to shimmer between solid and energy. Welcome aboard, Commander Barnes, he said formally, then broke into a grin. I'm so glad you came, sis. I had to see for myself, she said, hugging him. Despite his changed nature, he felt real, solid in her arms. As the final preparations were made, Olivia looked out the view screen at Earth shining blue and white against the blackness of space. Whatever happened next, humanity would never be the same. All systems ready, Ryan announced. New Horizon preparing for departure. The ship's engines hummed to life, a perfect blend of human engineering and architect technology. Energy flowed through systems that seemed alive, responsive to both manual controls and direct mental commands from the transformed crew. As the ship pulled away from lunar orbit, a message came from Earth, a simple Godspeed from Admiral Johnson. Olivia took her place beside her brother on the bridge. Before them lay not just the stars, but a network spanning the galaxy, filled with knowledge and civilizations beyond imagination. Where to first? She asked. Ryan smiled. Everywhere. The New Horizon accelerated, its hull glowing with patterns of light. In an instant, it vanished from the solar system, carrying humanity's representatives to meet their place in the wider universe that had been waiting for them all along.